Hello everyone, this is Jack Graham with Simply Vegas. I'm a realtor here in Las Vegas, and today I'm gonna be talking about credit score and how to improve your credit score. This is the most frequently asked question, and the reason why is because a bunch of people have a bad credit history, and what they want to do is they want to improve it so that they can purchase a home or apply for a car loan or whatever it may be. You need a credit score to get ahead in life. So in order for me to serve my clients at the best, I need to create something that I can just send over and will make my life easier. That way I don't have to spend hours on the phone trying to explain how to fix your credit. And in this video, we're going to go over how to bump it up like 50, 100, 150 points within the next 2 months. And these are things that I've already done and I've been very successful at it. So I'm going to share these tips and tricks so that you can get your credit score up. And then eventually, if you like it and you like your new credit score, just come and buy a home with me. I'll be super happy to help you purchase a home. After all, I guess your realtor did not explain you how to get your credit score up. So let's do this. First thing that you need to know, in order to understand credit score and how to bump it up, you have to understand how it works. And the easiest way to explain it is that there is the credit bureau, which is the person that, let's say the entity that reports your credit, that gives you a score on how well you pay off debt. That's what it's all about. It's how good you are at paying off debt, if you're on time, what kind of history you have. And then at the end of the day, they gather all this information from all the lenders that you borrowed money from, whether it's a car loan, a home loan, a credit card. And what they do, they compile it together and they give you a credit score. Now, in order to understand that and how they give it to you, they do follow a certain percentage rule of what affects your credit score. And here it is. So the first thing that affects your credit score is your payment history, right? Your payment history is all the collections that you might have, or your positive history, which could be every time you paid off a car loan or every time you paid off a credit card. That gives you a positive note on your credit, and they report it to the credit bureau, which there's actually 3 credit bureaus. One is Experian, the next one is Equifax, and the last one is TransUnion. All 3 of these have their own credit score, and usually when a lender goes, if you go to apply for a mortgage, they check at least one of them, if not all 3. So yeah, what they do, this makes up 35% of your credit score, the payment history. Then the second most influential thing is the amount of money that you owe to a bank or whatever it is, a lender. And that is 30% of your credit score. Now, the amounts is important, not necessarily because it shows how much debt you have. That's what's important. So if you have a credit card that it's maxed out, you are using 100% of your credit, and that is a bad thing, because it shows the credit shows the credit bureau that you need money and you do not make enough money to pay off your debts. So that's a negative thing, and it'll affect your credit score in a negative way. On the contrary, however, if you do have high credit limits on your credit cards and you pay them off every month, that shows the credit bureau that you have a good history and you're a more reliable person, because you don't use debt, you don't leverage debt that much. The next thing is, it makes up 50% of your credit score, is the length of credit history. That is 15% of it. And what that means is, how long have you had a credit card for? How long have you had a car loan or a mortgage loan for? And that makes up 15% of it. The longer it is, obviously, the better score you'll get. 10% is the next one, which is the new credit. New credit, it means that are you applying for a bunch of credit cards? Are you getting inquiries? How many inquiries do you have on your reports? and it shows the credit bureau that you are in need of credit, and when you have a lot of inquiries, it's probably not the best thing for you. However, it does not affect your credit that much, and sometimes you do need to apply for credit cards in order to get your credit score up, which is something that we need to talk about pretty soon. And then lastly is the types of credit used. Every kind of loan that you're using is going to have a different effect on your credit score. For example, if you have credit card debt, is different from having a home loan. A home loan is considered a good debt, whereas a credit card debt is considered a less desirable debt that you want to have. So that definitely influences you in a positive or negative way on your credit score. But anyway, that's how it works. And then what they do, they compile all this information and they come up with your score. The next thing we need to do now is to understand what we need to do in the short term and what to do in the long term in order to get your credit score up. Now, there's a few tricks I'm going to go over in the short term. They're going to help you out tremendously to bump up your credit score from 500, 550, all the way up to 700, 750. Okay. And let's go into the short-term things. And the first thing you want to do, first of all, is you want to open an account with Credit Karma. There are definitely other credit reporting agencies out there that you can contact or you can create an account with. I just use Credit Karma. This is the first one I used, and I always loved it. They have plenty of information in there that is very helpful. Just do it so that you can get that information. First trick that you need to do, you need to open up some credit cards. Now, how do we do that? The first thing you want to do is, let's say you have a bad credit score. How you're going to say, hey, Jack, I have a bad credit score. I doubt that they're going to accept me to open up a credit card. How do I do that? And in that case, you have to go into the bank and you have to talk to a representative and tell them, look, I am trying to open up a credit card to build up my credit. I want to open up a secured credit card. And what that means is that you're giving them a security deposit for the credit card. So you give them $300, for example, in advance, and you tell them, you hold on to these $300, give me a credit card, and I just take with the limit of $300, and I'll just use it. Now, in that case, they'll start reporting to the credit bureau all this information that you're paying off your credit cards every month. If you do pay it off, obviously that's what you want to do. And yeah, just go ahead and open 3 or 4 of these credit cards so that you can start getting some history in from the credits from the banks. Okay, and that's very important because you have to start somewhere. So if you have a bad credit, go ahead and do that. Now, if you already have credit cards, and let's say you have 1 or 2 credit cards and you have some collections, we're going to go over that in a second. However, here's the biggest trick that is going to move the needle here, whether you're going to improve your credit score by 50 points or more within the next 2 months, which is signing up as an authorized user on someone else's credit card. Now, this does not apply to everybody because obviously you need to have a family member that has had a credit card for a long time, and maybe they have a good credit, hopefully, and they paid it off every time. What you want to do is, let's say your mother has a good credit card and they've used it for the past 5 years and they've been on time all the time, right? What you do is you ask your mom, hey mom, please add me to your credit card as an authorized user. What you will get is a credit card that is coming from her account. However, you are authorized to use the credit card for whatever you might want to use it for. Now, what happens when you get this this credit card as an authorized user? It means that you go onto their account, and what the bank does, the bank that is issuing that credit card, it reports onto your credit bureau all the past history from your mother's credit score to your credit score. So all the positive things that the bank has said about their credit card is going to be reported onto your credit reports. Now, just by doing this, you will get all the positive things that your mother has done in the past on their credit card, and it's going to bump up your credit like crazy. It's a huge trick. I don't know why the credit bureaus allow this. Anybody with a bad credit can improve their credit a lot by doing this. But hey, it's a great loophole, and you should definitely take advantage of this. So that would be the first thing that I would do if I were you and I was trying to get my credit score up. Okay. The next thing that you want to do, this is the second powerful thing that you need to do, which is the debt consolidation loan. What this does is, let's say you have a medical bill of 5K, credit card of 7K, and a car loan of 13K. You get one loan of 25,000, and if you go into Credit Karma, they have some lenders that offer those, and they'll give you also the likelihood that they will accept you as well. And you can apply for a loan. And if you get accepted, they might give you a loan, let's say, of 25,000, maybe at a 7% interest rate, which is better than most likely all of these. And it's going to be all grouped up into one debt. And what happens is it frees up all these bills, and it shows a positive thing that you paid them off. Another thing that it can help you with is if you have some kind of collection. And the best thing you can do is to get rid of those collections. Now, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to have some cash. So maybe with the debt consolidation loan, you can get that loan, and you can use that cash to pay off these collections that you have. And what you want to do is you want to call up the collection company, be nice to them, and tell them that you want to, settle the payment, and you want to get rid of that collection, because that collection is hurting your credit in a tremendous way. So once you get that cash that you have, you can negotiate those collections down. So let's say you have a medical bill of 5,000 and you haven't paid it off, right? You can call that bill, and let's say it's a collection. You say, hey, look, I am going to declare bankruptcy. This is obviously false, right? You're not telling the truth, but I'm going to declare bankruptcy. And if you don't give me, I have $1,000 right now, and you're literally the only debt that I have right here that is literally going to trigger me on whether I'm going to declare bankruptcy or not. But what that's showing you, if you say that you're going to declare bankruptcy, even though it's not true, is that the collection company might risk to not get a dime from you, because the moment you declare bankruptcy, you do not have to pay off any more debts that are not government secured. So medical bills apply to that. So they do want to make some money off of you, and they would rather take $1,000 rather than $0. And most of the time, you're able to settle these debts for 20% of what it is. Might be even less. You can even try with $100, $200. Who knows? It might work. But anyway, that's how you do it, and you consolidate all into one loan, and then it frees up all this credit line right here, and your credit score is gonna go up like crazy. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen for sure. Now, you have only one loan. The good thing about this loan is that it's not like a credit card where, if you pay down, then you can go back and spend the money. No, once you pay it down, you paid it down, you move on to the next month and you pay it off again, okay? And it makes it easier for everybody to take control of all the debt. When you have so much debt and at such a high interest rate, it's difficult to pay it off and move on to the next thing. So, great tool right here, debt consolidation, to try to get rid of all these things. And all these companies are going to start reporting to your credit bureau, and they're going to say, hey, this person is great at paying off debt. They just paid off $25,000 in debt, and it's a good thing. All right, now that you did that, so you did what's it called, the authorized user, maybe bumped up your credit 50 points. Then you did the debt consolidation and bumped it up another 50 points. Now you are in a good credit score range. Now, once you're in that good credit score, maybe you have like 650, 680, 700 credit score. You want to increase your credit limit. How do you do that? Since now you have a better credit score, you can call up the banks that are issuing your credit cards, and you're going to say, hey bank, I want to improve my credits and everything. Could you please increase my credit line? Let's say that secure credit card that you opened initially for $300, right? Let's say they increase it to $3,000 now. What happens is, before, if you're spending $300 on the credit card, you are using 100% of your credit limit, which is bad. It shows that you are just from calculations, the credit bureau is going to say, gosh, this person is using the whole limit. It means they don't have control of their finances, blah, 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 whatever. So it shows us in a negative way. However, if you have a limit of $3,000, now you use only $300, that's only 10% of their credit line, which is a healthy percentage. And the credit bureau is going to see it as a positive thing. So definitely you want to increase that credit limit, and it's also going to improve, if you have some debt, it's going to improve your debt to credit limit ratio, which is a huge part of your credit score. After that, you just have to stop. Wait for 2 or 3 months and see what happens, okay? You fix your credit up a little bit, and then in 2 or 3 months, all the credit bureaus are going to start reporting, and you're going to start gaining this positive momentum onto your credit score, which is going to bump it up even more. And then you're going to see it go from 700 maybe to 750, 760, 80, okay? So definitely stop for a few months and then see what happens. Now, you can already technically qualify for a loan. You can rent a place, you can buy a car, whatever you want to do, although buying a car is not the best option. If you have a bad credit, that means that you probably have some financial issues and you might want to fix those first before you go ahead and purchase a car. But you can qualify to rent a property. Nobody wants to rent to a renter that doesn't have a good credit. So then after that, what you want to do is you want to focus on your long-term cycle after you finished up doing the initial thing. And what that means is that we need to take care of a few things, which is the credit card utilization. Obviously, you want to keep it below 10%. In my opinion, this is where you want to be, okay? So every time you use your credit card, now that you have a higher credit limit, use less than 10% of your credit card. That way, it will report always the best score possible onto your credit score, okay? Also, your payments, you want to keep up all your payments. Make sure you don't fall behind with any payments. You don't have any derogatory marks, which is, collections or anything. And then the age of your credit also, you see, the longer you wait and you have open accounts, the better credit history you have and the better credit score you're going to get, okay? And then the total accounts, this is also how many accounts you have. So you do want to keep opening accounts with time. However, just do it, in a healthy way. Don't go ahead and open 10 accounts all at once because it might hurt you too much at the beginning, okay? And they might see it as a bad thing. So slowly, maybe apply for a credit card every 2 months or so, and then get to this range, at least to 10, 11 credit cards, okay? That way you're in this column right here, possibly up to 21 eventually. And then credit inquiries. Credit inquiries, I wouldn't be worried about these, and I'm going to explain why. The reason why is because these go away after a year or two, and you won't see them on your credit report anymore after that. So don't worry about these too much. But what credit inquiries are is, for example, if you go to purchase a car, or they're going to pull your credit, and that's what happens. You have a credit inquiry. That affects you in a negative way if you have too many. However, if you have a few, it's not really going to do much onto your credits. So if you were going to purchase a home, for example, just go ahead and do it. And that brings me to the next point where you need to, the 2-week rule. Okay, just try to follow this rule, which is, let's say you're qualifying for a loan or for whatever kind of loan, and you're shopping around for the best interest rates. Try to shop around within a 2-week window. So if you, for example, you're trying to qualify for a home loan, go to a few lenders, go to 3 or 4 lenders, try to get the best rate from them, but do it all within 2 weeks. The credit bureau will see this as, okay, this person is doing a wise thing, which is trying to get the good interest rate, which is a positive thing. So we won't give them 3 inquiries or 4 inquiries. It will just be 1. We'll count it as 1. So in that case, it won't affect you that much. Moving on to the next thing is your credit card utilization. We covered that. One thing that you need to understand is that your credit, once you hit 750 or more, it really doesn't matter. And that's why I'm saying, if you're above 750 and you need to run your credit, don't worry about it too much. It'll just drop it by 2 or 3 points max. And then, it doesn't really matter if you're above 750 because any lender is not going to give you a better deal if you have 750 or if you have 850. Okay? Once you pass this score, you're good. You'll get the best interest rates ever. Next thing that you want to do for the long-term run is you want to freeze your credit. Now, you would have to go individually to all of these websites, which is the credit bureaus that I talked about earlier, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Go to their website and you'll find something similar to this where it says add a security freeze. You just click on there and it'll fall and just follow the directions and you can freeze your credit. What does that do? Let's say there is a scammer that gets a hold of your social security number and they apply for a loan, they purchase something, and now it goes onto your credit. And you realize this and you say, hey, I didn't apply for this. Guess what? You're still responsible for it. That's just the way it works. Don't blame me for it. It's just the way it is. Blame the government. They allowed this to happen. So in order to protect yourself, however, because you want to be in control of your finances, is freeze your credit score. This is not going to affect you in a negative way when it comes to the reporting, because the banks will still report to your credit bureau while your credit is frozen. However, if you do decide to go and apply for a loan for something eventually, you'll need to unfreeze your credit report and then freeze it back after. Okay, so it's a little bit of work, but it gives you peace of mind that no scammer can get your credit messed up and cannot borrow on behalf of you, which is a huge thing. Imagine somebody just borrowing $50,000 because you have a good credit score and they just ruined your finances and all your options to qualify for any kind of home mortgage or whatever you desire. So this is the last thing I want to talk about the long-term changes. And then here we go. I can help you buy a home. That's when you call me up and you say, hey, Jack, you've been so helpful fixing up my credit. With that video, literally changed my life. I'm going to use you as my realtor because you gave me so much value. And here we go, Jack, help me out, buy a home. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you found value in this, let me know down in the comments, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll have my information down below. And without further ado, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.